Hey guys, in this video we will be looking at more practice problems on horizontal and vertical translations of functions. So a little bit of a review from last video, we looked at we looked at the function of the form y equals f of x minus h plus k, where this function is a transformation of this function. So we have a horizontal translation, h units to the right because h is a negative, and we have a k units upward translation because k is also positive. So that was a brief review of last video. Now we're going to look at more practice problems and solidify this concept in our heads. All right, let's look at our first question. It says, identify the values of h and k for the following and describe the function using mapping notation. All right, guys, let's do this together. So, A. Remember, guys, our function form was y equals f x minus h plus k. So our h is here and our k is here. So let's determine the values of h and k for A. So as we can see, we have y equals f x minus 4 plus 7. Okay, guys, if we compare these two together, we can see that our h value for A will be 4 and our k value will be 7. Now, let's look at mapping notation. Guys, mapping notation is basically when is written like this, so x and y, and we put an arrow like that, and then we basically describe what transformation occurred in this function. So we moved 4 units. Actually, let's write this first. We moved 4 units to the right, guys, because it's -4 and it becomes +4 when we translate it, so it goes to the right, 4 units to the right, and we have 7 units, it goes 7 units up. So basically, in this mapping notation, we describe this transformation here, or translations. So x increased by 4 because it went to the right. When we go towards the right in a graph, it is increasing, so we say x plus 4. And for y, it went up, which is also increasing, so we say plus 7. So this will be our mapping notation for A. All right, guys, let's look at B now. So B looks kind of weird, but that's okay. We can change the form. So first, let's move this 3 to the other side. So that will be y equals f x plus 2, and then -3 because we moved it to the other side. Now we determined the values of h and k. So h in here will be -2 because when we plug this into here, we will get x plus 2. And our k value will obviously be -3. Now we do go on to the mapping notation. X, y, comma, this is our basic form. And let's find out what translations occurred here. So we have f of x plus 2, which will be horizontal translation. And it will be 2 units to the left because it's plus 2, so it goes the other way, which is -2. So it goes 2 units to the left. And we will also have a vertical translation, and that will be 3 units down because it's negative. All right, so these are our translations. So if we apply it to x and y, we move horizontally 2 units to the left, so x is basically being decreased by 2. So we write x minus 2, and vertical translation 3 units up, so y is being 3 units down, so y is decreasing by 3. So y will be y minus 3. All right, problem number 2. we are given the graph of y equals fx above here. We have to list the transformations of the graph y minus 2 equals f of x plus 3, sketch the graph of the transform function, and write the transformation using mapping notation. Oh, there's a lot, but let's do this. So first, let's list the transformations of this guy. So let's change the form. If we move the 2 to the right, we will get y equals f of x plus 3 plus 2. So this will be, let's list them. We will have a horizontal translation, 3 units to the left, and we will also have a vertical translation, 2 units to the 2 units up. Nice. Now we have listed the transformations of the graph. Now we need to sketch this graph of, we need to sketch this graph in the graph above. All right, guys. Now how we do this is basically we know that like this graph is a transformed version of y equals fx. So basically they took y equals fx and moved all its points 3 units to the left and 2 units up. So we basically just have to do that. So when we look at this graph of y equals fx, we see that its points are at -3, 2, 0, 0, and 3, 2. So now we gotta move those points 3 units to the left and 2 units up. We need to apply this transformation to y equals fx to get y minus 2 equals f of x plus 3. Now let's do that. So 3 units to the left, 2 units up. So we go 1, 2, 3 units to the left and then 2 units up. So we will be here. Let's move this point 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. So we will be here. And let's move this guy 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and this guy will end up right here because we moved 1, 2, 3 left, 1, 2, and then 2 up. All right, guys. If now we just have to connect these dots together like that, and erase this. Now this function right here will be our transformed function of y equals f of x plus 3 plus 2. Now we graph this here, so that's good. Now let's move on to the last question, which is write the transformation using mapping notation. All right, easy, guys. So we write this first, always. We write an arrow. Then we say, oh, it went 3 units to the left, so it must mean x minus 3 because when we move to the left, it's being decreased. So if you look at the graph, it's moving that way to the left. So these numbers keep getting smaller and smaller. So that will be x minus 3. And we will have y plus 2 because it is going up. And if we see in the graph, as we go up, 1, 2, it's being increased. So we have increased by 2. Alright, guys, so we have our last problem here. It says, given the graph of f of x, here, list the transformations to get the new graph and determine the equation of the new transformed graph. Alright, guys, so basically we are trying to get this function, the equation of this function. So first, we need to look at what transformation occurred here. So let's pick out the origin point right here. And let's see how many times it went down. So it moved once, twice, and 3 times, 4, and 5. So it went down 5 blocks. Now, how many times did it go to the right? It went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it went down 5 times and it moved to the right 5 times. So we can say that 5 units down and 5 units to the right. Let's see if this is true for the other points. Oops, I have erased that. Sorry guys, let me just redraw this. Alright, let's pick out this point. Let's move it down 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And let's move it to the right 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we end up here, and that's exactly where this function is. So this will be our transformation. 5 units down, 5 units right. And then we can write this more officially. So horizontal translation, 5 units down, and vertical, oh sorry guys, this will be right, and our vertical translation will be 5 units down. Alright, now we got the transformation down. So 5 unit down, 5 unit right. Now we need to determine the equation of the new transformed graph. Let's do that. So our graph will be in the form y equals f of x minus h plus k. We went 5 units to the right, so we can write y equals f of x minus 5, because when it's minus it becomes a plus and it goes to the right. And 5 units down will be also minus 5, so our new transformed graph will be y equals f of x minus 5 minus 5. Alright, thank you guys for watching, and in the next video we will be looking at different transformations.